And I believe Lisa, she's going to give us a lot of aha moment as well. So let's welcome her.
Hello everyone, my name is Lisa and I have to control the time. And so I skip it online. And the first part I will do a little bit of self-introduction. This is a picture for our graduation party that day. And this time is now is the 7th years of my teaching journey in 介寿 Junior High School in Taipei City. And okay, so first I will talk about my contest first. Because I'm a new teacher for my class, grade A, grade A, and in their previous grade, the teachers for them are mostly GTM teachers, so they talk about grammar only, and the activities are teacher-centered, and they are all traditional English teachers who would not do any activities for them. And also students, they are indifferent to things, and they know little about our school neighborhood community. So actually, I don't think they have confidence in learning English, even in Taipei City, and they don't have motivation. So they have high grades, so the investment is high, but their motivation is low. They don't think that learning English is interesting. But I think that's because now I'm a new teacher for them, and I think I will design more student-centered activities for them, and I will always encourage them to start to care about others. So I think that is a new beginning for me and my new students. Okay, but as the last class of my action plan, Steve he told me that you want to do a lot of things to your student, but what about the other teachers? They will be like jealous of you, or they will get threatened because you did a lot, but they did nothing. So for me, in the past, this year, because I'm a new leader of our English area, so we have 19 teachers in our area. But actually, in the past, most of them, they just like to work individually, and they don't have many and much discussions, and they don't share things to others. And also, they use traditional teaching methods like GTM, what I said, and they are very afraid of using technology, or even make PowerPoint. Yes. So as a new leader, I don't want to be threatened to them, so that's what I did. I just like to share with them. I share all of my worksheets, my PowerPoint, my everything. Just actively share my things with them. So I think now, after one semester, around 3 months, they are willingness to share a little bit, and they start to collaborate. Even the 19 teachers, we form a small group. Around 5 teachers, we always work with each other, and we have a small meeting for one class every week. Yes, just to talk and share a little bit of things. So I think that now they are a little bit willingness to use technology. One time I want to borrow the iPad from our school, and they say that no, we don't have anyone. I said why? They say that a lot of teachers come and use them. We don't have anyone left. So I feel upset I don't have iPad to use, but at the same time I feel very happy. Yes, okay. So I think that a lot of people will say about students, so I will skip a little bit about student part. I will talk more about my colleagues part. So the main point, the goal is to increase interaction and willingness to share among my students and also among my colleagues. Okay. So about students, what I did, there are 5 activities. I will skip it because you can see it on your book. Okay, so the first activity I did is to find a match. I think everyone remembers that we have an activity that's about picture, and I use this to guess the sign. So they will have a picture of the sign, and also they have a word of imperative sentence. So they have to find which picture compares to which sentences. So that is for the 7th graders to have them practice the imperative sentences. And the second one is to also define match one for the 8th graders, because they have the first lesson is about Australia. So I made a picture so you can see that here there's koala. So they have to find koala, the picture of koala, and the English of koala, and the Chinese of Weishong. So they can find a match. And also here you can see a picture here. He's Chris Hemsworth, nation's word. Yes, he's Australian. And this is quokka, the famous animal in Australia. So they have to find a match to see the celebrities in Australia as well. Okay, so the second part is that I've learned from all the teachers that told us we have to give students more room to have their imaginality and to show their creativity. So I always like to use this Instagram friend to have them draw the picture. Just like the Australia lesson. So the context is about their diary for 7 days. I asked my students to write the 8 days. So what if is that you in the Australia? What will you do on the 8th day of the camp? So they draw the picture here and also write some sentences about Australia. I think this is the first time for me to see their picture. I'm really impressed. Okay, and also I asked this to also for my 7th graders because they might not be so good at writing English sentences, but I think they are good at drawing pictures. So they draw a picture of their own family. So via this Facebook, no, it's not Facebook, it's Facebook. It's Facebook. Yes, for them to draw something and create their own Facebook page. Yes, and also this one is about another reading paragraph is about a sleepwalk. Yeah, I think someone with you are 8th graders of the Hanli, then you know. So I asked them to draw a comic for four blocks according to the reading articles on the textbook, and the other two charts, I will ask them to create their own new ending, so they can have more organized ideas according to the textbook, and also they have more room to create their own things. Okay, and this is another thing that Melanie just mentioned, Neopard. I also like to use that, and I also introduced Neopard to all my colleagues, and they are starting to use it. Yes, and so they are using this Neopard, draw its function to make a mind map by a storyline. And this is after they work in the groups to do it on the iPad. I will ask each of them to write down their own things. So just like Mina just talked about the gradual release, to ask them to practice together and make your own at home. Yes. And also this one is what I really like, is lyrics training. I think some of them might be heard of that. Yes, it's about when you're listening to a song and you have to type the correct words that you heard. So this is what I used for them to practice past continuous with the love story, this song, love story Taylor Swift. And there are a lot of like word and throwing, they have to type it out. You have, as soon as you type it correctly, then you can move on listening to the song, or you will stop there. Yes, I think that is very interesting for students, and I love the activity a lot. So after this song, I introduced a lot of songs for them to listen to the song, enjoy the song, but at the same time learning English. And this is the Halloween costume party for my students. They have to wear the costumes and do the word searching at the same time. So you can see that the picture. This is the girl from Coco. Yes, I think, and this is the very noisy boy, but they say he's very quiet. I'm very pleased. And she said that she's Annabelle for the whole day. Their class is around 3 in the afternoon, but she wears like this in the morning at 7 and come to me very excitedly to say, "Hi, you see me? I'm Annabelle." I said, "Wow, you will scare a lot of teachers." Yes, I think that is very interesting. And also for jobs, because we have been to the Muthen Creek to find the A to Z words in that day. So I will ask students to do the jobs, A to Z, for them to think about more jobs and occupations that they know and to share with others. Okay, and this is recently, I did it last week, so it's on the slide. It's general-based learning, but I think for junior high school students, they are a little bit difficult, so I just to keep it into topics. So I make the topic into Greece, and they talk about a lot of things about Greece. Okay. And the teacher's part, my colleagues' part, so because I think the most important thing for my colleagues is to build up their community agreement. So I asked them to draw a picture. You know, as elder teachers to draw pictures, they just like to draw a tree or flower or stars, which is, yeah, I think it's fair enough. And they have to write one of the sentence. I asked them a question, what does a good community mean to you? So they just write that everyone is friendly and willing to share and learn, and I make it into a poster. And every time when we have a meeting, I will have this poster on the wall, and ask everyone to read that before they come in and before they go. And the second part is that after I introducing every activity, I will ask them to draw a little poster. And the poster is really small to lessen their anxiety. Yes. And they have to discuss something like this. So I will ask you, what do you think after sharing and discussing? So they have to write down the advantages of the activity, the disadvantages, and application, and other feelings and ideas. So that is the poster about our IG phone. Okay, and the next one is, before they go, they have to write 2 stars and 1 wish. So I can get immediately and positive feedback. So they say that they think the activities are useful and they wish to learn more about apps. So I will introduce a lot of apps for them afterwards. Okay, and also when I introduce Nearpod to them, I use the value line Gabriel just mentioned to ask them. So you can see the community agreement poster is posted right here. And also what I feel very excited is that she is the teacher who is almost can get retired. Yes, I think maybe 3 years later she can retire, but she learned Nearpod maybe half a year ago from me, and she became my guest speakers that day. And these two, they are the people who made me know iPad that day, because they use Nearpod and lyrics training for their students, for their classes. They are all my colleagues, and some of us even become good friends that we unexpectedly wear the same clothes. Okay, and this is all of my colleagues that you can see a lot of posters, small posters that we make, and the poster of community agreement is right here. Yes, and because of I think the reflection of me from the SFU is that I feel I get a lot of ideas, and after every time of Mina's class, we can see that even the small little things that you did, she will make it very big and encourage you a lot. So that's what I did for my colleagues and my students. So I always encourage them a lot. And the sharing from the SFU makes me want to share a lot to my colleagues and my students. So we have a big community now, and I'm powered up now. Okay, so that's what I did for last month. I have more power to influence and give to other teachers. So I was invited back to NTNU to CC Ling's class to share with the student teachers last month. And also, because I got more colleagues, friends, so we just decided to invite a foreigner from Poland to come to our school to do real interaction and activities with our students. Yes, this is an ongoing project. So, yes, I think that's the end of my presentation. Thank you.